Happy Wednesday. So today I want to touch on a couple of different things and we'll kind of just go through really quickly. It'll probably be the shortest video we've done in this series. But I think it's really important to touch on a lot of the barriers that people see to home ownership or to transitioning into the next home. So major things I've found are, oh my gosh, Kelly, prices are so high. Interest rates are high. How am I going to afford a home? Okay, well, first of all, I do want to keep it in perspective that interest rates are actually not high. They just feel high because we got used to very, very low rates. So we can go through the whole history of that if you'd like. I know that that doesn't impact whether or not you can afford it, so no one cares. But keep in mind, these are normal rates. We don't expect them to go down much, if at all. And prices are continuing to rise all across the country. We are still seeing appreciation. It's not at the crazy high rate that it was over the last couple of years, but it's still increasing. And Chattanooga is one of the strongest markets in the United States. That goes for, Northwest Georgia, Northeast Alabama as well. All of this area is really, really strong. So you are going to continue to see appreciation, and that means that prices will continue to go up, not down. So what do we do about it? Well, first of all, you're paying rent, most likely, right? Rent is also going up. So why are you putting yourself in a pinch paying someone else's mortgage when you could be paying your own? Now, we do want to make sure that it's comfortable for you. You are going to have maintenance and things that you don't have in a rental. So we'll go over all of that and make sure that it is feasible. But if your biggest thing is you're like, you know what, I've been paying rent for years, not a problem, or I already have a house, not a problem, but that down payment is just kicking my butt. Don't worry. Most down payments for a first-time home buyer are 3 to 3.5%, which is not very high. We're also in a market where there are a lot less multiple offer situations. So we do have potentially, if we're careful, the opportunity to ask the seller for some closing costs. Okay? Tracking. Another thing that is really helpful is there are 0% down options. So if you qualify, you may not have to have a down payment at all. I have sold homes for people where they have brought no money to closing. None. Zero. They paid for inspection and appraisal and earnest money. And that's it. If you don't know what those are, then we need to do a conversation and go through what the process looks like. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot is, I was seeing that we're not now, which is great, is, hey, I'd love to sell my home, but I'm just worried I'm not going to find another one. It's so competitive. Inventory is still low, but it's not so low that we can't find you another house. So you're going to get a great deal on selling your house and make some good money, but then we can also turn around and go ahead and find you another house. And again, depending on what we're looking at, negotiate some of that so you're coming out on top. If you bought in the last couple of years, you are probably struggling because you were so lucky. You got this crazy low interest rate. You have a house that is way cheaper than what people are buying right now. And that's all awesome, unless you were one of those people where there's 20 offers on every house and you're like, screw it, I need a house. This one's fine. And now you're over it and you want to move, right? That happens. We all get a little antsy and sometimes we settle because we don't have a choice. I've had a lot of conversations where this is a problem because you're like, oh, my payment is this. If I go buy a new house with twice the interest rate, my payment's going to be way up here. I can't do that. Maybe you can't even get qualified for something as nice as you want, and you're worried that you're going to just lose out on everything. So here's an out-of-the-box solution I want you to think about. Now, keep in mind, I know not everyone wants to be a landlord, but hear me out. That first home, you have that low interest rate on it, right? So the market is continuing to rise for rents and sales, right? You're paying less than people buying homes now. But what you can rent it for is the same as people who are buying homes now. That means that's going to put more money in your pocket than the average new investor. Okay, well, where do you live? Cool. You're going to have to go through the process again, another down payment, buying another house. I can't afford 2 mortgages. How does that work? the beautiful thing is there are loan programs that take into account your new house. It's going to be like buying the new one entirely, but we can kind of negate the fact that you still own your current one by doing estimated rent rolls. It doesn't even need to show that there's currently a renter in it. We just need to show rental comps that support the price that we think we can get for it. And then we can count that rent income that doesn't exist yet up to the mortgage on the house. So we're basically taking it and wiping out that mortgage like you're selling it, moving to the next house, but you're keeping that house. And you can put a renter in it for more than we're calculating on your loan. And you can use that to help offset a little bit of that payment shock going into your next house. If you don't want to manage it, that's fine. I can help you get a renter in there. If you want more than that, someone who's collecting your payments, handling maintenance, all that jazz, we have great property management partners. So I just want to throw that out there as an opportunity and something that you may not have thought of before. So if either of these things speak to you, you don't have a down payment, you already have a house, you feel like you're stuck in, or if you're just looking to upsize, downsize anything normally, and you don't know where to go, that's what we're here for, right? So reach out. I'm always open to call, text, DM. Phone number is 423-987-9191. And if you think of any questions, throw them in the chat, send them over to me personally, and we'll get them taken care of. I'm a huge advocate of looking at your options and seeing what we can do for you without impacting your credit. So if something like this is piquing your interest and you're thinking, but you're like, I really don't want to pull on my credit right now, that's fine. We're just going to have a conversation. If it looks promising, we might decide to move forward. If not, no harm, no foul. At least you looked into it, right? So let me know what topics you want to see next. Right now, I'm just going on a lot of things that I've been seeing recently, but I'd love to hear what you want to hear, and I will see you all next week.